Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite YouTube channel and podcast. Keep that same energy sports talk with your host, Justin P. This is episode 194. For the audio version, it's season 5, episode 26. So y'all can check that out on Anchor, Google Podcast, Spotify, basically anywhere you get your music and podcast stuff from. Just type in Keep That Same Energy Sports Talk. No list of available platforms. Today, got a very special guest. He was on here a couple months ago. We recap the NFL draft and stuff like that. The myth, the man, the legend, NFL Network's own Steve Wyche. Welcome back to the show, Steve.
Justin, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you asking me back on this great show.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. So, week one starts tomorrow, so we're gonna do a little pick 'em and just break down each game and just, give our keys to the game, winners, losers. So, you want to get right into it?
We can do that. I don't know about picking them, but we'll get into all these games and discuss whatever you feel like.
I'll pick the winner. I'll pick the winner and
There
loser.
you go. There you go.
All right. Well, tomorrow we got Rams Bills. So just give me your whole dynamic on how you think that game is going to go.
Yeah, it's here in LA. I'll be there. I'm real excited about it because the Bills have been kind of the offseason team that's deserved the hype they've gotten. We know they're right on the cusp of breaking through. Josh Allen, great player. They've added Von Miller, James Cook in the draft, the running back out of Georgia. Have some really nice pieces at every level of their team. But, the Rams feel like Omar on the wire. If you come for the king, you best not miss. I was out there Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday at practice, and it is clear they're kind of like, keep talking about the Bills. We're the ones holding the ring. We're the ones holding the trophy. But keep talking about the Bills. So this is going to be good. This is going to be good because the Bills have all these receiving threats. The Rams got DBs. The Rams got Allen Robinson. To go with Cooper Cup. Van Jefferson is going to be hurt, but they've got some young players. They love this young rookie running back they have to go with Cam Akers and Daryl Henderson. So it's really going to be how things. There'll be the shock and awe at the beginning. The banner drop, champions, all the hype, this and that. The Bills coming out, probably hit some big plays early, try a little razzle dazzle. But then one thing settled down over those final 3 quarters. Who's going to show up at the end? Because you got two of the best defensive closers in the NFL with Von Miller and Aaron Donald on the field.
Yeah, like I said, and then I watched Jalen Ramsey's presser. He was like, "Man, they're good and all, but I'm not gonna boast them. Like we the Super Bowl champions. Like they got a lot of talent and all that. They're the favorites, rightfully so. But we're the team that just recently won the Lombardi. So
Yeah, I don't know about them being the favorites coming into SoFi.
I'm with you, and I'm gonna get to that as I conclude my thesis. But like you said, the Rams defense is still intact. They lost Von Miller, but they get Bobby Wagner, that general they need in the middle. Uh, Terrell Lewis and Justin Hollins, those are underrated guys that the outside world don't know. I know you know these guys well because you've been up there covering and all that. They can come off the edge and get some pressure. Like I said, then you still got Leonard Floyd, Alshon Robinson. Yeah, they lost Joseph Sebastian Days. He's basically crossed the hall with the Chargers, but they still got a pretty good front. And then Raheem Morris is still there, the glue to make it work. So
Their nose tackle Greg Gaines is a monster now,
oh yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
we don't forget about him.
I thought he was older than what he was. He's only 25, 26.
No, he's young. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's a beast. And they got another guy, Bobby Brown, I believe, or something like that, from
Yep.
Texas. So they have the pieces there. And then on offense, man, Stafford, like I said, I don't know how he didn't make the top 100 list. I don't know I know he had some pick sixes, but he threw 48 touchdowns and close to 5,000 yards. Like he easily should have been on the list. And I'm a Raven fan. I'm going to say that we're going to get killed for this. He should have been on the list and Lamar should have been off. I'm just got to be completely honest. Because those numbers you put up, he nowhere in the world he don't make the top 100. It's ridiculous. But like you said, Allen Robinson, got Darrell Henderson, Cam Akers, he's going to be a little bit more healthy now. Vance Jefferson in the slot, so it's going to be Tyler Higby's coming back. But when the boy on tour, they got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. So I'm gonna go with the Rams here in a tight one. I'm gonna go 31-28 in the tight one. All right, so we got Steelers and Bengals. No, sorry, we got Browns Panthers. So just give me your whole dynamic on that with the fake.
Browns Packers.
Browns Panthers, yeah, Browns Panthers, yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, look, if the Browns didn't have Jacoby Brissett, I'd say this is even Steven. But you've got Jacoby Brissett and an unknown group of wide receivers going up against what could end up being the best defense in the NFL. They've got great running backs in Chubb and Kareem Hunt, very good offensive line. Jacoby Brissett, game manager, but coming up against that defense, man, you're going to have to make some plays outside the run game. So you better believe they're going to stack the box and make Jacoby Brissett beat them. Every team's going to do that. I talk about the Packers defense. You look, Kenny Clark, D tackles, one of the best D tackles in the NFL that doesn't get talked about. Him and Jeffrey Simmons are the Titans. You got great linebackers, great secondary with the Packers. So that defense is going to carry them while the offense figures things out. Flip things over.
They played Carolina. Sorry about that. They played Browns.
Yeah, Carolina. I was about to say. I thought. So excuse me for that. I should have known that because you got the Baker Mayfield Bowl.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that game. That's a little more balanced, right? So Baker Mayfield's going to come back, and as much as he says, "Hey, I'm not going to try to make this a revenge game," of course it is. I mean, they dumped on him. They bailed on him, and so he's going to have an attitude. But you know what? Baker might try to make a play he doesn't need to make. Try to make a hero ball play. I don't know. We'll see. But, Carolina's got a better roster than people give it credit for. And with Christian McCaffrey being healthy this game, they can do some things. I mean, he's a dynamic player. They've got some good receivers, decent offensive line. And then defensively, the Panthers are pretty dang strong. So, especially up front. So, I mean, this is an even-Steven game. I love the Browns roster other than, what they have going on, Jacoby Brissett. As long as he doesn't turn it over, they're going to have an opportunity. But I don't think this will be a high-scoring game, but this is going to be a competitive game.
I believe so as well. Like you said, basically the Browns, they basically told Baker, you just wasn't the guy for us. Even though he did win a playoff game, he did have a pretty good year in 2020. Last year, he played with a torn labrum, which is hard to do. Still had an okay year. He had more touchdowns than interceptions, but the Browns basically said, we're going to go ahead and do whatever we got to do to get Deshaun Watson. Knowing what he got going on legally, we don't care. That's just how bad we wanted to move on from him. So now I think, man, you said this when we were talking about the pre-draft stuff. We said Carolina could be a possibly destination for him. So now it made it happen. Got him from next to nothing. They just added Laviska Shenault from Jacksonville, so they added another weapon to a pretty good receiving core. Like you said, offensive line is going to be better with getting Iggy Aquanu, and they still got Taylor Moton and those guys. And that defense, like you said, Yato Gross-Motos, I don't know if I said his name correct, Brian Burns, you got Jeremy Chin, and then Dante Jackson and J.C. Horn and C.J. Henderson. That's a loaded secondary as well. So I think Baker going to come out and play loose and play free. Like you said, he could get himself in trouble, may try to press for a pay just to try to, put it to the Browns instead of probably throwing it away. But I still think he's going to play good enough to win the game because Jacoby Brissett, he's been looking horrible in preseason right now. And then my fantasy coach.
He'll be fine. Don't put a ton of stock into a veteran player in the preseason.
Yeah, true. Then they still can run the ball, still got a pretty good offensive line. But I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go with the Panthers in a fairly tight game. I'm gonna go 27-17. Baker throws 275 yards.
You got a 10-point game? It's a tight game.
Well, it's semi-tight because one score, and a field goal, you're back in it. But
okay.
Steelers and Bengals. So just give me your your outtake on that, Steve.
Well, I'm bullish on the Bengals. I love them. I mean, that's a really good team. And I think personnel-wise, they got better. They upgraded the offensive line. Love Joey Burrow. He's still kind of working his way back from that appendectomy. But, he's going to be good enough. I mean, it's like, what are they missing? I mean, they've got a good defensive front, linebackers who can really, really play. They're not the best run defense in the world, but, I think they're good enough to take advantage of the Steelers' offensive line and Mitch Trubisky. I mean, like I was saying about Jacoby Brissett, teams are going to line up against Mitch and say beat us through the air. Now, if he's hitting, Steelers got receivers. That's the one thing we can always talk about. Who are the Steelers receivers? Does it matter? Don't they develop receivers like the Patriots develop corners? So, I just think I like Cincinnati in this one. I think they're going to be able to score some points. I think the Bengals are one of the best teams in the NFL, and the Steelers are trying to figure some things out.
I agree with you. Pittsburgh defense is going to keep him in it as much as they can. Hopefully, TJ Watt is healthy. I know he got hurt in that game against Detroit, so it don't seem like there's nothing too severe. But their defense alone is going to give him a chance. Mitch Trubisky, like I said, he hasn't been like horrible, but he hasn't been the quarterback that the Bears and all of them has hoped. That's why they moved on and got Justin Fields. But with the system here with Matt Canada, I think he'll be a little bit better. And like you said, with the receivers they got Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Calvin Austin, and Miles Boykin that play for the Ravens. So he has a little bit of weapons at his dispensary. Then you got Pat Fryermuth for tight end and Najee Harris. But I gotta give it to the Bengals on this one. There's Joe Burrow and all them guys. They got that sour taste in their mouth from being one player away from probably winning the Super Bowl, a la Aaron Donald. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals in this one. I'm gonna go 27-20. Okay. Colts and Texans. This right here is like, So
don't sleep. Hey, look, week one, there's going to be some upsets. Week one, there's going to be some teams that are going to jump up and nip a favorite. I'm not saying it's going to happen here, but Houston is going to be better than what people think. Houston and Jacksonville in that division are going to be better than what people think. They are steadily building things. If Davis Mills is okay for Houston, they are going to be a better football team than people give them credit for. They got a pretty decent offensive line. They're still a work in progress, but Brandon Cooks, one of the better receivers no one talks about. The rookie running back, everyone's in love with him. So we'll see. I mean, I think, everything says I think the Colts are a team that's going to challenge for the Super Bowl as well. But look, there's going to be some teams that are going to get nipped by some unsuspecting underdogs. And look, the thing I love about the Colts is we don't talk about enough. Matt Ryan, absolutely. They got the running game, pretty good offensive line, decent wide receivers. The fact that they added Stephon Gilmore and Yannick Ngakoue, I think Kwity Paye is an edge rusher on the rise, playing next to DeForest Buckner. You got Shaq Leonard in the middle. They're a fast team, and getting some veterans like Gilmore, who still got something in the tank, and Yannick Ngakoue, man, he is such a disruptive player. Such a disruptive player. Now he's on turf, indoors, and he could be playing on a team that has leads. This could be shades of Freeney and Mathis all over again in Indianapolis. And again, not saying the Colts are going to win this one because there are going to be some teams that are going to get caught. But, at the end of the season, the Colts are going to be one of the teams left standing.
I agree, Steve. And you're right. The Texans are definitely better than what people were getting for Davis Mills. Played pretty well despite, having that, with the whole situation thrown in and the whole Deshaun thing. He did well enough. They like you say, got Brandon Cooks, who every year seems like he has 1,000 yards quietly. They got Brevin Jordan, my guy from Miami. Damian Pierce, he runs hard, catch with the backfield. And then, like I say, you got Derek Stingley. They brought in Campbell Kruger-Hill. They brought in some solid veterans. And then, like you said, Kenyon Green on the offensive line. But they're about a year away. I'm gonna go with the Colts here big. I just think Jonathan Taylor is going to just tear the roof off the place, man. They're not gonna be able to stop him for 4 quarters. What's going to set up play action pass with Matt Ryan, Michael Pittman, Paris Campbell, and all those guys like that. So I'm gonna go with the Colts here, 38-10. Ravens Jets.
Wow. As crazy as it sounds, Joe Flacco is not the worst thing that could be happening. The dude knows how to play. He knows how to play with the Ravens. Ravens have got a new defense, new defensive structure. It's not Wink Martindale in there. They got, some new stuff going on, which is why I think this defense is going to be really aggressive and very, very good. I just think Lamar is going to be a headache. He can be like, okay, contract or not. Every game I'm going to look at that Deshaun Watson contract and be like, add something to it, add $500K to it, add $500K more. So I think he's on a mission. The Ravens are going to be a very tight end centric football team like they were in 2019. And they're gonna pound the ball. You don't know if Dobbins is gonna play, but they are going to run the rock, control the clock. It's just gonna be a real tough slugfest for the Jets. But again, there's gonna be some teams that get caught. I just don't think the Ravens will be one of them this week.
I agree. Like I said, I don't want to sound like a homer because obviously you see the shirt. That's my team. But the Jets did have an amazing draft, good free agency. I think they're another year away, another year or two away. Like it's just not their time yet. Us, we're coming off of basically disappointing season record wise. We're 8-3, then a couple injuries, and Lamar goes down. We lose 6 straight. Like 5 of those games were winnable. I think the Bengals are the only team that really like put it to us. So now we got a chip on our shoulder because now it's the team that went to the Super Bowl is in our division. Then we go like, hey, don't forget about us. We were the favorite last year for the injuries. And I just think the Jets are going to get and be in the way. Wrong place, wrong time. I got the Ravens winning here. I'm gonna go 31-10. I think we'll win by 3 touchdowns. Lamar 300 yards in the air, probably 50, 60 yards on the ground, 4 total touchdowns. All right, Chiefs and Cardinals. This is going to be a pretty interesting game.
I love this game. I love this game because you have two teams. You're wanting to go out the wide receivers because, of course, the Cardinals don't have D-Hop. They got Hollywood Brown. They got Rondale Moore. That's a player to look out for. Small slot receiver, second-year guy out of Purdue. James Conner is healthy right now. Their offense functions better. And the Cardinals play well to start seasons. With the Chiefs, defensively, though, we're talking about what they're going to do without Tyreek. They added some pieces now. They lose a couple guys, including Ty Matthew, but they add Justin Reed. They got speed now. They got size in that secondary. Drafted McDuffie out of University of Washington. Maybe he plays nickel. Maybe he plays outside at corner. Drafted a long, tall corner, Joshua Williams out of Fayetteville State, HBCU. Really like him. Willie Gay, I guess is what he's called, linebacker. They got speed with the Chiefs. So this is kind of like an interesting matchup for Arizona because Arizona with Kyler and his speed, Rondale Moore with his speed, they're playing a defense with speed. And then, look, we can say whatever we want about not having Tyreek Hill. They got Patrick Mahomes. Juju Smith's going to have a better season. Juju Smith-Schuster's going to have a better season. Valdez-Scantling's going to have a good season. So this though is going to be a super entertaining game. So this is one I would give it to the Chiefs on paper, but again, there's going to be some fireworks in this one. So this one to me is a little bit tougher to call.
I agree. Like you said, the Cardinals are definitely each year under Cliff Kingsbury have gotten better and better. Kyler got paid now, so they got that out the way. DeAndre Hopkins is suspended, obviously. Then Marquise Brown, I think he's a little nicked up. Plus, he had an incident with speed and all that, so we don't know how the league is going to, handle that. Rondale Moore, a little banged up, but he should be ready to go. So that leaves Isabella and AJ Green, and then like I said, Zach Ertz. So Kyler still has enough weapons to keep it competitive. But Mahomes, man, he's just that good. Like we said before, last time you were on, the 3 games he didn't have Tyreek Hill the year he won a Super Bowl. He still averaged over 30 points a game and over 300-something yards. So he's the show still can go on. Still got Travis Kelce. Like you just said, MVS, Juju is a very underrated receiver. I know he TikTok a lot, so everybody don't like that, but the kid can play. The kid can play. Sky Moore. So he's another one that's going second round pick at
Nicole Hardman.
Definitely forget about him. That's like now he can play the Tyreek Hill role because with the speed he has. So they still got Clyde. That was a lad picked up Ronald Jones, and the offensive line got a lot better. And then like you said on defense, picked up Justin Reed, George Karlaftis, Trent McDuffie. So I'm going to Chiefs in a shootout. I'm going 34-31 Kansas City. Packers and Vikings.
These are the two teams that are going to be fighting for the division title when it's all said and done. The Vikings, I think, are going to be better than what some people might be thinking. It all depends on Dalvin Cook. They're a different team when Dalvin Cook is healthy. And so, talked about it earlier, that Packers defense, though, is real. That is a real defense. It might end up, somewhere in the top 3 or 4 in the NFL when the season's said and done because that secondary is so good. But as good as it is, Vikings got Justin Jefferson, man. He's he's just so good. Thielen, last year he was nicked up a little bit, didn't put up the numbers he usually does. They've had some players emerge at wide receiver, so I just think the Vikings are going to give the Packers all they don't want. And so this is tough to call. And the Packers. Let's see what the identity is. I mean, I know they've been talking up their running backs. But Aaron Rodgers is not trying to turn around and hand the ball off 35 times a game. So even though Aaron Jones is a monster, A.J. Dillon is a monster, they're still going to throw the ball. So if the young guys can hang on to the ball and find their way to get open, has potential to be a great, great game.
I agree with you, Steve, but I'm going with the Packers here. I'm going to go 34-27. I just think Aaron Rodgers is that good. I know he lost Devontae Adams, but I think Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs are going to step up. Then they're going to run the ball more with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. And then that defense, they got, Devontae Wyatt and Quay Walker. And then they got Jair coming back, and Eric Stokes plays better down the stretch. So I got the Packers.
Darnell Savage. But, I mean, here's what I got to ask you, bro. You've hit like 5 teams scoring 30 points. Out the gate. Out the gate.
It's going to be a few defensive games I got in here, but I just,
okay, because
week one,
a whole lot of week ones where teams are dropping touchdowns like that.
Yeah, I think as the week go on, that's when the defenses are going. Because a lot of guys didn't play in preseason, so it's going to be a lot of jitters, a lot of miscommunications, blown assignments. But as the weeks go on, the defenses will be better.
Okay.
Bucks Cowboys.
Jeez. Bucks Cowboys. Well, first off, the best player on the field is going to be for the Cowboys, and he ain't on offense. Micah Parsons might be the realest cat out there. So I want to see how they activate him, inside, outside. He'll probably play some of both. But they're really going to try to take advantage of the Buccaneers, guard-to-guards issues with Ali Marpet retiring, them losing Jensen to injury, Kappa getting traded away. They've had a couple other injuries on the interior of that offensive line. You got to come for Tom Brady on the inside. That's always been kind of the strategy. And that's why, those Patriots teams and even those Bucs teams are built so tough guard to guard. So Dallas, we'll see if they can score because the Bucs defense is still top notch. We'll see if Dallas can put up the points. I mean, their offense scored more points than any other offense in the NFL last year. Well, I think the third most offense, they did have 7 non-offensive touchdowns. But, it's still hard for me to go against the Buccaneers, but I'm thinking like week 10 instead of week 1. So, maybe Dallas has something for him. Maybe Micah Parsons delivers a strip sack or something like that. The Cowboys defense is going to be really good this year. It's going to be the strength of their team. Their secondary is better. They added some players. Jaron Kearse, their safety, very underrated, versatile player, does a lot of things Derwin James does. So this is going to it'll be an entertaining game. I'm just really interested to see if Tom Brady, with all the stuff that's happened to him, I just think he's one of these dudes, once the game starts, he's just so savage that he just may go out there and try and do his thing. But this defense is not one to get picked on. So this is going to be a toss-up game for me.
It's going to be a good one, but I'm going to go with the Bucs for the simple fact the Cowboys now, no Amari Cooper, James Washington is down. Gallup won't be back no time soon. They have offensive line issues themselves. They got Jason Peters.
Yeah.
40-something years old, where he can play the tackle for him. So,
well, he's on the practice squad. He won't be playing this week.
Right. Even better. Even my point is that, Steve. So, Hall of Fame guy, got nothing but love for him, but got Shaq Barrett and all them guys coming off the edge, Joe Tryon
Smith, yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Bucs here, 27-24. Just enough offense, just enough defense.
27 is pretty good offense.
Yeah. This team's going to still play a little defense. Saints and Falcons.
This is a really intriguing game because you talk about teams who could possibly get caught. I do the Falcons preseason games. I'm in the booth, and they feel like they've got some momentum. They feel really good about kind of the energy they have. They don't have a ton of playmakers, but they feel like as a unit, they're pretty good. Their defense is definitely going to be better. I mean, AJ Terrell, one of the best corners in the NFL. They get Casey Hayward on the other side. Richie Grant, second-year safety, looks like a completely different player. They got all kind of speed and physicality at the inside backers. They drafted Arnold Ebiketie out of Penn State to give them some help on the edge. Grady Jarrett, of course. That's really good. So, the Saints, usually their offensive line is not a concern. They've got some issues there, some injury issues. I'm more interested in the Saints to see how the whole Jameis, Olave, Jarvis Landry, Mike Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill stuff works out because they've got weapons. I mean, people who don't think the Saints are going to be able to score, they got the ability to light it up. Like, is it going to be a slow burn? They're going to come out the gate. I really, really like the Saints as a potential team to come out of the NFC this year. But this game here, rival teams, both games last year, they split within 3 points of each. So this is going to be a hell of a game. I'll be stunned if this one doesn't come down to the last team with the ball. I really think, the Saints defense is one of the best in the NFL. It's been the past 3 or 4 years. But with the moving pocket now with Marcus Mariota, they got Cordell Patterson. They've got, the rookie running back Tyler Algier, who's a name to listen out for as the season goes along. Damian Williams. And then Kyle Pitts, the unicorn. He's a super tough cover. And we'll see if Drake London's going to play for the Falcons. He hurt his knee. Seems kind of iffy. But this is a really good matchup. But I'm more interested in seeing how that Saints, that group of offensive skill players takes form, if it's going to be, like I said, a slow burn, or if they're going to come out of the gate just lighting it up.
I agree. I just think the Saints defense is just going to make more plays. So I'm gonna go with the Saints here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 24-21. I just think James is gonna make enough plays, get the ball to Olave, get the ball to Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas, he's kind of the forgotten man in the receiving rankings because he hasn't played in about 2 years. So I think they're gonna come out and and get the job done in the tight one. And the Falcons are gonna, they're gonna hold their own because, like I said, they got Mariota, Drake London, assuming he's healthy. It's gonna be a pretty good game. And every time those two play, it's always a good game. 49ers Bears.
As I say about the Bears right now, Justin Fields is competing in a regatta while he's in a kayak. Whereas the Niners, they're loaded. Now, it looks like the leadership of the Bears is a little bit more organized and they have a blueprint of what they want to do, but they're a year away from being a year away. And the Niners have a Super Bowl roster. It's just all up to Trey Lance. And I think this is a game, as it goes along, he's going to get better because I've seen them in training camp. That dude's got all the skill to be great. He has got the talent. That is not a question. It is just a matter of experience. He's going to have some low points during the season just because it's how it goes. He's basically a rookie. But he's got some stuff that Jimmy G doesn't. And that's why they are going with him, because they think he can take them places Jimmy G can't. And his ability to move, too, is going to open up some running lanes for those dynamic running backs that they have. So, yeah, I'm not picking games, but this is one I'm taking the 49ers in my survivor pool.
I got you. I'm going with the 49ers too. Like you said, Trey Lance got a better situation, better O-line, better receiving core, better coach, better play caller. So I got the 49ers winning this one in a nice comfortable lead. I'm going to go 31-17 49ers. Eagles Lions.
It's going to be a good game. I mean, the Eagles are a team by the end of the season. They're going to be one of the better teams in the NFC, but the Lions, they got some stuff to them now. And I'm not just talking about hard knocks. I've been up there. Aiden Hutchinson's a real deal. Jared Goff is like a different dude. He's got some confidence in himself. He knows this is his last year. Basically, they can get out of his contract, so he's got to prove some stuff to him. I'm interested to see if they're like the Falcons. They feel like they've got some good momentum. If they can continue that energy, they're going to have to hit some points early, because the Eagles do have the type of team that can wear them down on both sides of the ball and pull out the W. So this is going to be a very competitive game.
I agree. I'm gonna go with the Eagles here because they're just more ready to win now team. The Lions do have a lot of potential. Had a good draft, had a good free agency. I just think they're another year or two where, well, for them to learn how to win and learn how to get that coach. Really got to make the Super Bowl, get in the NFC and NFC Championship game. So I got the defense 44. We got Patriots and Dolphins.
Love this game. Bill Belichick did something he didn't do, and he went down to Miami 4 or 5 days early because he's tired of losing ball games down there. But when's the last time you've seen him break protocol?
Yeah.
I like the Dolphins in this. I really like the Dolphins, to be a playoff team. Their defense doesn't get talked about enough. They're a huge takeaway team, right? 2 straight years, a big takeaway team. People I talked to said Tua, it's not just hype. Him, the only concern is really durability. He's got a lot of weapons. They're going to run the ball. Mike McDaniels was the guy who kind of orchestrated the Niners run game. So that doesn't get talked about enough. And the Patriots, defensively, they'll be okay, but their offense is going to take a minute to get going. So I think this early in the season, in this matchup, the Dolphins are probably more primed to get the dub.
I agree. The Patriots defensively, they will be okay because they got a pass rush. But losing J.C. Jackson and Stephon Gilmore is going to hurt with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle out there. So I'm going Dolphins. I'm going to go Dolphins. I say I'm going to go 31-24.
You are all these 30-point games, bro. Hey, you know something I don't.
Gee. They're going to fling it around. Jags and Commanders.
Jaguars are going to be better than what people think. Commanders they got players, man. We can sit here and say all you want about the owner or the way they got some players on both sides of the ball. It's going to be a good game. Trevor Lawrence looks like a different guy. I saw him in some joint practices. This is going to be a competitive game as well. I think the Jags are going to be able to put some smoke on Carson Wentz. They've got a new defensive coordinator, Mike Caldwell, kind of plays a 5-man front. Just very, very physical, super physical. So I think Jacksonville is going to get some people's attention right out of the gate.
I got the Jags winning this game 20-17. That Trevor Lawrence is, another year, and then he actually got an NFL caliber head coach. No disrespect to Urban Meyer, but he couldn't make the adjustment. Doug Peterson has won a Super Bowl. Don't really know how he got out of Philly, but hey, it is what it is. I just think the Jags got a better coach at the helm leading them. So I'm gonna go Jacksonville 20-17 and a tight one.
Yeah, he got out of Philly because of the quarterback who's now on Washington's roster.
True. Well, true. Yeah, he definitely was a Wentz guy. Raiders and Jaguars. This is probably the most interesting game to me. I'm sorry, Raiders and Chargers.
Great game. It's being played in LA, but it's going to be a huge Raiders crowd. This is a Raiders city still. Chargers, when I look, we're going to, we want to talk about the quarterbacks, Derek Carr and Justin Herbert and all the weapons. I'm looking at the pass rushers. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Kyle Van Noy, Sebastian Joseph Day on the interior with Austin Johnson. And then you got Max Crosby, you got Chandler Jones. The thing is, it looks like the Chargers' offensive line is built better to protect their quarterback than the Raiders. And, the Raiders got some issues in the secondary, whereas the Chargers look pretty sound there. So Chargers getting ready to come out. They look real good. I saw them in the joint practices against Dallas. They look like one of the most complete rosters. But there's just something when they play the Raiders. We saw what happened last year at the end of the season. So, we'll see. But I think the Chargers got a little chip on their shoulder, especially play the Raiders. So I would expect them to come out ready to rock and roll.
Okay. This is going to be another 30-point game. So you're going to be a little upset with me.
No, this one here. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So I'm going to go 31-28 Chargers. I just think they're going to
close game.
That's going to make the difference with Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. I think Carr's going to do his job, put up points. Got Devontae Adams, got Hunter Renfrow, got Wall, et cetera, et cetera. But I just think the Chargers going to get the stop and then get it back to Herb and get a game-winning field goal.
Yeah, if they make those types of plays, they're going to the Super Bowl. But that's just something they have historically not done.
That's true. We got 2 more games: Giants and Titans. This You know.
Yeah, Derrick Henry. Just look for a lot of King Henry. Look for a lot of King Henry in this game. He's going to go big. If you got him on your fantasy team, go ahead and push the chips in. Yeah, Tennessee's. We'll see how Tannehill is. He talked about how that playoff performance really shook him up, but I don't think they're going to have to worry too much about the passing game in this one because they're going to be able to run the ball.
I agree. The Giants are just like, I know Wink is over there. Got a lot of love and respect for him, but not enough pieces. Derrick Henry going to go for 200 yards. Tannehill probably throw for 200 yards himself and just have basically a day off, as they like to say. I got the Giants winning big here. I'm going to go.
You mean the Titans?
I'm sorry. Excuse me. The Titans winning big here. I'm going to go 27-10. All right, the last game, the Monday night game, Seahawks and Broncos, and then we're going to be out of it.
Come on, man. Russ going back to Seattle? Oh, yeah, it's all friendly. We're all good. Do you think he's not trying to hang about 400 on the Seahawks? And the other part is, really, in the Seahawks offensively, they got two of the best receivers in the NFL. But, and Geno, look, they could do worse. But, they could have had Baker. They opted for Geno. Could have had Jimmy. They opted for Geno. So, yeah, the Broncos just seem like a more complete team. Nathaniel Hackett, first-year head coach, but you talk to people in Green Bay, and they say he was really the brains behind a lot of that offense. I just think they're going to be really locked in going up to Seattle for this one. It's going to be a lot of emotion in this game, but as the game wears on, Denver's talent, because that's a pretty good roster. I think their talent's going to really rise above things.
I agree, Steve. I think it's just gonna be too much. Russ is going to. I think Russ gonna go for like 350. I think Seattle will put up a little bit of points because they got DK and Tyler Lockett. So my final score for this one is gonna be 45-24. I got Russ letting it loose. I got Jerry Jeudy getting about 3 touchdowns.
I'm about to say you must have a couple pick sixes and strip sacks.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
I think Melvin. I just think the Seahawks, just outside of Jamal Adams and Jordan Brooks, that defense is real vanilla right now. I think Russ is going to pick it up. So I got Denver stomping them out 45-24. All right, Steve, man. Anything you want to say, man? If I let you get out of here, man, I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, remember, usually defense is ahead of the offense this time of year, but you seem to have flipped the script. So we'll see what happens, Justin. Again, you may know something nobody else does.
Yeah, I'm just looking at just matchups and just positions and all that stuff like that. So, yeah, man. So anything you want to say, Steve? I'll let you go.
No, man, just keep on doing your thing, man. We're here. Football is finally here. It's about time we can stop hypothesizing and see who's real and who's not.
Thank you, man. Appreciate this again, Steve. So everybody, I can check this out in the audio version on Anchor and Spotify and Google Podcasts. Basically, all the other platforms I'm on there as well. So, ladies, again, the man, the myth, the legend, NFL Network's own Steve Wyche. So, everyone have an amazing Wednesday. Love you guys. Be great on your way to the figure 8. And always remember the hashtag KTSC. Keep that same energy. From your host, Justin P., and my very special guest, Steve Wyche. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow when I do my breakdown after the Thursday night game. Love you guys, and